Good morning, happy Samhain, happy Halloween, and I'd like to give a quick shout out to Ray. Happy 25th wedding anniversary. It's hard to believe 25 years. I wrote a post today. Some days it feels like we've been together for 5 months, and other times I know we've been together thousands of lifetimes. He is the singularly most important person to me, my cheerleader, my rock. So happy anniversary. So this week I've done something a little different. I'm doing body, mind, spirit. What does the body need? What does the mind need? And what does the spirit need? And finishing it off with Witch's Oracle Samhain cards. I'm going to go back to the tarot format tomorrow, but I'm going to keep the Samhain cards for November 1st, which is, I do believe, All Saints Day, and the second, which is Dia de la Muertes, which is the Mexican Day of the Dead, which is November the 2nd. So I think that would be fitting to do that. So let's get into it. I was excited about yesterday's reading until I pulled today's, and today's is absolutely stellar as well. Excuse that. So, body. What does the body need today? The body needs the veil, and the veil is called the future. So, the veil is believed to be the thinnest between worlds today. So, it's the time when the ancestors and the gods can communicate with us through different ways if we are open to it and pay attention to different symbols and synchronicities. You might want to set out some time today and do a little bit of an oracle reading yourself with it. A lot of times messages can come through divination. If you are lucky enough to be able to communicate with spirit guides and ancestors, you might actually get direct messages. Which is amazing. I get messages sometimes, but in a very different way. It is about allowing that mist of the veil, that secret veil, the coming between that cloth. I see it almost as a curtain, allowing that to be pulled back, not to be frightened, and really heartfelt gratitude for those who have passed before us and if messages are coming through to us today. So the future can directly be linked to the past, but you can also ask for this sort of information and synchronicities. It would be okay today to ask to see a sign. That would be very, very, you couldn't deny that it was there. As a reminder of your loved one that has passed. So look for things that might be out of the ordinary and things that are undeniable communication to bring that ancestor through for you, through the veil, through communications for you. So that's what the body needs today. The body needs to know that it's okay to let the guard down sometimes and experience that fluidity of energy, knowing that the veil is really around us all the time, and thinner right at this moment. But if we look at ourselves as energy bodies versus physical form bodies, like that's the table that the camera's on and I'm in a physical material form, if we realize that we are fluid, that we are energy, that we are all at once. So the communication can be very, very fluid and flowing if you understand the concept of the void and the death state being all energy, like all energy, and that everything and everyone is there and present at the same time. It makes these communications a little bit easier to bring in and get the connection. So that's what body needs. What does the mind need today? And the mind needs the ancestors, which is the love and legacy of our DNA. So if you see that beautiful tree there are DNA codes running up from the roots straight up the tree trunk. And this is for the mind. The DNA is the code of our past, and that is our past footsteps. Our ancestors, everything that has walked before us. We are codes among codes among codes. And if you see it as the divine matrix downloading information, this is our matrix. So it is about, a lot of times, people might say to you, "Oh, look, you have your mom's skin." And that's a big joke because my mom had beautiful skin. So my joke is, yeah, I've got my mother's skin, but I also inherited her ass too. So, get what you can get, right? Or you might have your father's eyes, or you remind me so much of how your sister walked. And that is a very interesting story. I've got a couple little stories here for you today. So my sister was put up for adoption when she was born. So she found us in 1998, actually 25 years ago, the year that Ray and I got married. And we didn't grow up together. My brother and I did not know about her. So when we first met her, there was obviously a lot of similarities. And I find sometimes now when I'm talking, I actually sound like her, which is insane because we weren't brought up together. But one of the things my mom said that struck her the weirdest is she went up to visit her in Ottawa, and they were out at a mall doing something. And Janet was walking in front of her, and she said, "Rhonda, it was like looking at the arse end of you walk. She walks identically to you." So there is that strong of coding involved, that things like that happen even when you're not brought up next to each other or together. One of the other stories I'd like to tell, which is a bit on a different vein, is I've recently started to do psychedelic therapy to help with my anxiety, depression, and PTSD symptoms. And one of the last sessions I did, two things I'm going to say. One is the last session I did, I was taken out to the point that everything was one. So I now have a firm concept of what that feels like, that everything is there for your feeling. It was an absolutely beautiful feeling, but everything, meaning all energy, my entire family was there. It was a feeling of oneness and allness. So cracking through that veil is possible in different methods. But one of the other treatments I had in our family, my mom used to call Dad the anchor, to the point my dad had a ring with an anchor made in it. It was that much of a symbol to the family, that he was the family's anchor. So in one of my last sessions, and I don't do this on my own, I'm led by a doctor. So I was brought out, and Dad appeared to me with the anchor and gave it to me and said, "You're the anchor now." So ancestors can reach out to you in very, very different ways, in different mediums. And the way I'm choosing to go after my mental health might not be for everyone. I totally get that. But it's been a huge aid into getting my life back for me. And it has also been spiritually connecting in all kinds of different ways. As I said, the connection to the void and the veil, and the field was amazing. And then also getting information from my past loved ones is absolutely amazing. So the gift of our ancestors is our basic birthright. It can come with issues. As we know, you can inherit conditions, but we are at a state now that epigenetics has come to a forefront, and you are able to change your genetic destiny by working through your neuroplasticity of your brain and doing meditations and essentially developing new neural pathways so your body functions differently, so that the footsteps don't have to necessarily be what your ancestors were. which brings me to another point I was making with a client last night of being the path breaker in your ancestral line. So if there was a history of unfortunately trauma or abuse in the background, your parents were hard on you because their parents were hard on them because their parents had nothing and it was brutal, but you don't want that for your future generations in the ancestral line. um, you can have the same DNA, but an entirely different path. You can be the path breaker. You can be the one to change that and decide to walk forward in a new light while honoring where you came from. And this goes back again to what I was talking about yesterday in the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian forgiveness system. I had a really hard time with my grandmother, my mom's mom, because she was so cold and unloving and hard. As a child's eyes, that's very difficult to deal with. But as an adult's eyes, I now realize what her path was, where she came from, what her education was, what she had to do, what she had to give up. So when you open your heart space in gratitude and realize what their journey was, hurt people, then you can go into that with stuff like the Ho'oponopono and really work on the roots of you and release that energy and bring in forgiveness, if that is what your calling is. And there are, like in the Harry Potter, unforgivable curses. There are things that you can't let go of, and I totally get that, and you shouldn't. But if it's something that you feel like you are ready to let go of through the ancestral line, know that it is there, and you can do this and work towards it to healing that line back. It's work, but it can be done. So that's ancestors. So that's what the mind needs. So I hope you don't mind my little stories. So what does the spirit mean? And the spirit needs the cauldron. And the cauldron is synergy and healing. So if you look at what the cauldron is, in feminine aspect, the cauldron represents the womb, so to speak. But in this sense, the cauldron was the family crucible. It was the center point of the hearth of the kitchen living space. It was the warmth. It was the magic. It was what you put in to create food for your family. It was a healing vessel. So it was an essential gathering place. And when I picture a big old fireplace with that, I picture warmth and kinship and coming around the fire and almost like the being fed, the needs being met. There are a variety of techniques to get back into the spell work, this sort of ritual. I know in our group, when we gather and do certain things, we make a collective soup. Everybody puts ingredients into the pot. It's an Instapot, so it's 2023 cauldron, but we make a soup and share that as a meal to connect with the ingredients that we brought all mean something, and then it is placed in this Instapot and we cook it for each other. Don't forget to stir. And stirring the pot has a bad connotation, stirring up trouble. What are you trying to stir up? You know, that sort of thing. But in order to mix all the ingredients together, if you're working on spell work and stuff, you need to stir that cauldron. It needs to be mixed up. And then under pressure is born resilience. So you can come out of the other side of the cauldron, going in sort of unmixed, not knowing what's going on. Put all ingredients in there with intention and stir. It's a spell, also, spell work. And out comes a beautiful meal that can feed the plenty in the dark times, warming their spirit and warming their soul. So the cauldron is all about healing, and healing yourself, healing your family, and healing others. There's something very important about breaking bread with people, and it is something a lot of people wouldn't even take into consideration. But my situation is very different now that my family has died. We don't have the family ceremonies, and we don't have the family get together. I don't have a family to get together with. Ray and I are very odd. Ray's family is gone as well. So we don't have that communal family feeling. We don't have the getting together for Thanksgiving. We don't have the getting together for Christmas. We don't have shared meals with large groups of people. So every now and then the group of my girlfriends and I get together and do this so we can have that. Everybody has contributed to something, and we can sit down and actually have that ancestors dinner, which we did a few weeks ago, or our croning meals, and stuff like that, just to get that community around a table and sharing in the magic of what has been stirred up, the resilience of how we've made it through to this point, and we are all there for each other. I'm talking a lot today. I'm sorry. Anyway, so that is that. So beautiful reading for today. And the final card is the Oracle card, and that came up as ritual. Card number 33, which turns into a 6, which is the Lovers in the tarot. So it's a power number. Number 6 is my number. I know one of my friends who watches every day. She's a 33, which is power number. So this is a good one for you. And this, once again, is the age I'm at. Can you feel them? Wild creatures linked by the very blood you will spill into your craft. A ritual dedication to self, and those who gaze hold fire, but whose whispers carry you softly through the unknown. So, what can be a ritual? Getting up and going to the gym every day. Not that I do that, but that can be a ritual. Getting up and doing this for myself and for you guys every day. This is a ritual. When I set up my treatment room and cleanse the room and prepare for my clients for day, that is ritual. Getting up and having your coffee first thing in the morning, checking Facebook, can be ritual. So it's a foundation to the witch's practice. It is honoring the wise one, and a dedication really to yourself, to special things that you want to do and special times that you have. What you want to bring to you and what you want to let go of. Rituals can be about releasing, and rituals can be about generating intention to bring items to you, such as, a good job, or more abundance, or better health, or the right people that are going to lead you on your epic health journey, or just opening yourself up and receiving, but knowing when it comes to say yes to receiving it, not saying, oh, well, I don't think that's it. Because what if you said no to that, and that is exactly what your ritual intended, but you missed the small mark, which goes back to the synchronicities and the veils thinning, and looking for those little things in a day that you might say, oh, that's weird. Is it weird, or is it something that you put out there that has actually come into your field that you're not aware of? So honor your magic. Honor your magic. And today is an absolutely perfect day to do magic and set an intention, if you can tonight, for what you want to bring in to the future or release. You can do a ritual to your ancestors and honor their part of your path, their part of your life. Another nice one to do is to take bay leaves and write on the bay leaf what you want to get rid of for the New Year's, and burn that bay leaf in a cauldron or in a fire. And the bay leaf smoke is purification. So that's another little ritual you could do, is just write stuff you no longer want in your life on bay leaves and burn them. Or set up your own space. Do what you want to do. If tonight is about taking a walk and looking at some Halloween lights, or after the kids, if after the kids leave your house tonight trick-or-treating, sitting and watching a scary movie because that's what you always do on Halloween. That's a ritual. But today with the veils being so thin, it is a perfect day to connect into that energy and to just experience your own magic and set the wheel in motion for the next year, as this is the new year and the wheel has spun. And that is how I see it today. And I hope you have a blessed Samhain, and have some things planned to do. Ray and I are going to go out for supper, which is our ritual on Halloween. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.